The time has come. We are back at the Canadian GP. Let's just say it's a very bone-crushing weekend. You're not going to want to miss what happens. Right now, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are here with the Canadian GP, and I am actually really excited to talk about this. So I guess let's just get straight into it. Before we talk about everything that happened at the race, let's talk about the special liveries, or should I say the special helmets. So let's go over them. So to start off, we have Lando Norris and I believe Oscar Piastri too. We have these really cool special helmets. And it's actually quite a sweet little helmet. It's in collaboration with Race Against Dementia, as I believe it's a charity for people with dementia. So that is really quite cool, and it's actually such a nice design. I do really like the colors. As well as that, Oliver Behrman has this really nice plain white helmet, which I do think looks very cool. I love his bear logo. Like, that is so cool. Overall, such a really nice helmet, and I just think it looks amazing. And then one I didn't expect. Lance Stroll, funnily enough. I mean, overall, it's once again a white helmet with these really cool cherries along the side of it, which, to be fair, to give Stroll some credit, I think it looks very cool. Honestly, just a great work. So let's talk about the sprint qualifying. So before we actually do get to the sprint qualifying, Liam Lawson, he had a bit of an incident. I believe during practice. I didn't watch practice, so if I get this wrong, I apologize. But I believe he had a bit of a crash, either on his way to practice or during practice. Again, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. So yeah, Liam Lawson was out of the qualifying during Q1. There was a bit of a sad incident. So I believe during the F2 race, there was reports of a groundhog on the track, or near the track. And unfortunately, during the qualifying, Alex Albon unfortunately ran over the groundhog. Rest in peace. I believe his name is Gary. Knocked out in SQ1, Liam Lawson, as he did not compete. Alex Albon, Valtteri Bottas, followed by Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Sergio Perez. And then, unfortunately, the tragedies came back in SQ2 with Fernando Alonso. I believe he had a bit of a lock-up. He had a bit of a crash into the barrier and it completely wrecked the car, so he was not able to partake, but he did just squeeze himself into SQ2, which good on him. Yeah, we love Fernando Alonso. Just ask Dan No Skill. We had Oliver Behrman in 15th, Esteban Ocon in 14th, Franco Colapinto in 13th, and then the two Audis 11th and 13th, Gabriel Bortolotto and Nico Hulkenberg. So close to a top 10, so close. And then I believe Carlos Sainz just came along and just ruined his day. And then we have SQ3, Carlos Sainz in 10th, Arvid Lindblad in 9th, Isaac Hadjar in 8th. Interestingly enough, Max Verstappen in 7th. I mean, Max was doing extremely well last race. So, I don't know, is it the track or, I mean, something must have happened. Then we have Charles Leclerc in 6th. We have both of the Ferraris, actually. This is actually where we're seeing a lot of the drivers sticking together. I guess they have, like, attachment issues. There's Hamilton in 5th. We're both the McLarens. Bunch together with Oscar Piastri in 4th and Lando Norris in 3rd. It was actually very cool to see it, like the last moments where Lando looked like he was going to get 2nd, but then Michael Kimi, he came the last minute just for such a good lap, which put him in 2nd. And yes, we have the two Mercedes in 1st and 2nd. Kimi Antonelli in 2nd and George Russell in 1st. Overall, just such a very good qualifying. A bit of drama. We had a few moments. Let's just cut straight to the sprint. And cut ahead we did. Welcome back. What a good Saturday it was. We're going to be talking about the sprint itself, and then we're just going to go over a tiny little bit for the qualifying, which we're going to say. So before we do get into it, I just want to say, with the F1 Academy race going on right now, my girl Alba Larson getting P2 in yesterday's race, she did absolutely amazing. She is my favorite driver. Yeah, I absolutely love her. Her first podium, I'm so happy for her. She's just such an incredible talented driver. I could really see her being in the actual F1. Give it maybe a few years. I definitely think we could see Alba Larson driving for Ferrari or just any team. Now, there was a bit of a controversy. I didn't watch the race. I was a bit busy at the time, but there was a collision. Alba caused a collision, so she was given a 5-second penalty, which dropped her down to P11, which I'm upset about. It took them nearly 4 hours to come up with this, so I don't know what they were doing at that time. You know, we're gonna ignore that. I'm still so proud of Alba for getting P2. That is incredible. That is so cool. Let's just get straight into the sprint itself. Now, I was a bit upset during this race. Kimi Antonelli. He started second, and he could have kept that second, but Antonelli was extremely aggressive. I don't know what it was. Maybe he wanted to be better than Russell, or something might have happened. But yeah, he was very aggressive when he shouldn't have been. I feel like. I guess he really wanted to win against Russell, even though he's clearly ahead. I mean, during lap 7, Antonelli went off track trying to overtake Russell, which did cause Lando Norris to get second, which it really upsets me because Antonelli, he could have kept that second for the entire race, but because he was trying to be too aggressive, he just went off track. He lost that place. Most of the race, Lando Norris was in second. Now, Lando Norris was nowhere near catching up to Russell, but Antonelli was doing a very good job trying to get it back, and he almost did, but when trying to overtake, he went off track again. So, overall, Antonelli, he could have done so much better. Toto Wolff, he got a bit angry. He got very angry at Antonelli, and that was, wow. This isn't really in order, but Fernando Alonso had to go into the pits twice to get those tyre issues, and Isaac Hadjar had a bit of an engine failure, so he had to go into the pits, but really, interestingly enough, like minutes later, he was back out on the track. Was 2 laps down, but still, I mean, that was kind of crazy that Red Bull were able to fix whatever issue it was. Then we have George Russell coming in first place, keeping his spot from his pole finish in the qualifying. Super cool, super happy for George Russell. Then we had Lando Norris in second and Antonelli in third. That still, it upsets me. Because Antonelli, he could have kept that second. He was very comfortably in second. Like, I don't think he would have had to fight that hard to keep that second. But I guess he just wanted to show his worth. I mean, Oscar Piastri just getting 4th place behind Charles Leclerc. And then following behind Charles Leclerc, we had Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen in 7th. I said this earlier, I don't know what's going on with Max. He was doing so well in the last race. He's still doing well, don't get me wrong, but I mean, he was fighting for a pole finish last race, and now he's getting 7th. A pretty good sprint. Very, very entertaining between the top 3 drivers, especially with Russell and Antonelli. Again, with Antonelli getting a bit aggressive, and with Fernando Alonso being the only driver to DNF, with Isaac Hadjar being 3 laps down by the end of the race, with Lance Stroll, Valtteri Bottas, Oliver Bowman, Alex Albon, and Pierre Gasly all being 1 lap down. So yeah, overall, very interesting. I wonder what you guys think of it. And then we move on to the qualifying itself. I only have one note for the qualifying. I don't know if that says anything about the qualifying itself, or that's just me not writing stuff down, but part of Bowman's car flew off. There was a radio message where Bowman complained that part of his car came off the car, but I don't believe it didn't really mess up the race at all. I believe it was taken off track before any cars could really come past. So, being knocked out in SQ1, we have Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, and Esteban Ocon. And then drivers eliminated SQ2, Oliver Bowman, Carlos Sainz, Pierre Gasly, Gabriel Bortoleto, Liam Lawson, and Nico Hulkenberg. And then going from 10th place up, Franco Colapinto, Arvid Lindblad, Charles Leclerc getting 8. They had both of the Red Bulls, with Isaac Hadjar in 7th and Max Verstappen in 6th, with Lewis Hamilton in 5th, Oscar Piastri in 4th, Lando Norris taking up the podium in 3rd, Kimi Antonelli in 2nd, and George Russell in 1st. George Russell giving an amazing under 1:13, with his fastest lap being 1:12.578. Overall, absolutely incredible. Qualifying, again, I didn't really have any notes, so I don't really have much to say about it. So it's going to be a very short segment. But overall, it was very good. And I guess we'll see you guys for the race itself. And what an amazing race it was. We have a lot to talk about. This was a very, very busy race. So kind of starting off with the race, something strange happened. I don't know if they confirmed what happened, maybe I just forget, but there was 2 extra formation laps during the start of the race. We all thought we were gonna get, lights out and away we go, but the FIA race control, they said we're gonna get an extra formation lap, another formation lap, so it went from 70 laps to 68 laps. Arvid Lindblad, in the kind of mess up that was the start, he had a bit of an engine stall, so he had to be pulled back into the pit lane as the cars were going around for their formation lap. So really sad that of Lindblad, he didn't really get to do any laps. Pierre Gasly, he had a bit of a lockup in turn 5 of lap 1, but he was able to recover it. It was a very, very good start from Lando Norris. He jolted into the lead. It was actually a bit of a little bit of a drizzle during the race. So a few teams had intermediates, and McLaren, both of their drivers had intermediates, which didn't really work out well for at him. Lando Norris was able to fly past. He was able to get ahead. That wouldn't really last for long because he would have needed to change his tires. Oscar Piastri went in first to get his tires changed around. But there was a bit of an incident with Oscar Piastri and one of the Alpine drivers. Piastri just went straight into him, which did cause Piastri to get a 10-second penalty. But there was a lot of DNFs this race. Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez. George Russell was putting up an amazing lap. There was, again, a lot of kind of fighting between the two Mercedes. Kimi was very patient. He was very calm this race. But something happened. Just the engine completely switched off for George Russell as he was fighting for first with Kimi Antonelli, and he had to retire from the race. Now, he did get I believe it was a 5,000 euro fine for throwing his headrest on the track, which I think was a bit stupid because it didn't go far and no car would have hit it, at least in my eyes. They'd be dodging the car anyway, so it would still be out of the way, but he still got the fine. He apologized for it. And Lando Norris, once again, his car just completely stopped working. He had to come off track and just park up. McLaren were not having a good race at all. Then Sergio Perez, I don't know what happened, but when driving into the pit lane, his suspension just went. So upsetting to see for the Cadillac. And even then, Valtteri Bottas being 4 laps down in last. And we had a lot of penalties as well, a lot of under investigations. But what a good race it was. Primarily, there was really 2 battles during this race, with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, then Charles Leclerc and Isaac Hadjar, with Isaac taking the lead from Charles Leclerc and actually holding on to it very well. It seems like the Red Bull second seat curse might be taking a turn for the best. It might be kind of being pushed aside. I mean, Isaac is a very talented driver. I mean, he does deserve it, and I do think he is definitely doing better than some of the other Red Bull drivers. That's not to say that the other Red Bull drivers are bad, but he is adapting very well to this car. I mean, it shows a P5. And Charles Leclerc just getting ahead of him to get P4, and then Max Verstappen almost getting P2 in the race. But at basically the very end, Lewis Hamilton, the talented driver he was, he pushed and he was able to take that place for P2. And yeah, Max Verstappen's first podium, the first podium for Red Bull this season. Obviously, Red Bull didn't really have a great start to the season, but it seems like they're finally coming back. So what a stacked podium with Kimi Antonelli getting 4 race wins in a row. Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton, and Max Verstappen. What an insane podium lineup. This race, absolutely incredible, and just a very, very hectic race. I did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. I want to know what you guys think of this race. Next up, we have Monaco. I wouldn't say this was the greatest race, but it was up there, at least in my opinion. A very good race, a few battles, a lot of incidents. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I am really sorry this video came out a bit later than it should have. I know it should have been out a few hours ago. I want to know your opinions in the comments down below. What was your favorite moment? Who was the best driver for you? Just let's have a chat in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for support on this channel. We're trying to build up more content. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are new, please subscribe, notifications, hit the bell, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TL Racing F1. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.